I hope you are well. Today's video is one that I've had on my agenda for a while, and there's been a couple of requests for it as we go through, and I've always put it on the back burner because I think sometimes I like to do other things, but then when it comes down to it, there are a lot of people that may see my journal, my current journal and my past journals, and get totally overwhelmed by it and think, where could I possibly start with that sort of journaling? So if you look at my baby, she is absolutely chock-a-block filled to the brim. Now, I am going to talk about stripped back journaling, and that is something I feel that we need to have a chat about. And I think that sometimes you got to strip it all back and just get down to the basics and just document your life, and do it in such a way that you don't need all the bells and whistles, you don't need all the products, you don't need all the things, all the tip-ins, stickers, you name it. You don't need all that stuff to have a beautiful journal. And I can guarantee you that some of my old journals are literally pages and pages and pages filled with writing and a picture here and there. This is, have I got any dates in here? This is high school, I know that much. 2001, so it would have been the year that I graduated. And it's just, this is my journal. And yes, I will say that we do evolve and grow as journalists as we get older. This is my this is my ticket to Melbourne. I have my acceptance letters into my art degree, my high school boyfriend, all that sort of stuff. And this is me at graduation. There are these sorts of things that are just as beautiful and as important as the craziness that you see when you look at my journals. Now, to this day, this is just as important to me as this is. Yes, my way of presenting my journal is completely different, and do think about the prospect that my journals are on display 24/7, and maybe if my journal wasn't on display 24/7, it may not be as chock-a-block and crazy as this, but part of me believes that it would, because I have grown to love creating the way that I create my journals. But I want this to be focused more on the actual strip back journaling process. This is another one. It's pretty banged up, and it is a leather journal, and I don't know what possessed me to put stickers all over the leather, but this one got damaged in some water. Poor baby. I'm not quite sure. This is also high school, or it's in uni, I think. I don't know if there's any dates or anything like that, but you can still see that photographs and collage are something I did way back when, and like doing overlays with floral papers. This is, oh goodness me, I don't think I've dated anything, so that is a tip that I need to tell you to do, is to date everything that you have. I'm not sure if there's any dating at all, but it is definitely during university. So these are journals that I adore and I keep, and are very plain. There's more writing than anything else. As I got older, I used a whole lot more tip-ins and my own art, whether it be digital or collages. I mean, my glue skills still haven't improved. All the glue that I was using way back when was just, I did a lot of self-portraits. It is something that I still do to this day, but a lot of it is just pictures, some glue, some paper, and just enjoying the process of journaling. I think I was a lot less what's the word, confident in my own art. So most of my journals back in the day were just using collage and using magazine clippings and things like that, but I was not as confident as I am in my own art journey as I am now. And obviously you would hope I'd be confident if I'm sitting here doing this for you guys. I did stop journaling for a really long time when my first marriage went really tits up, basically. It's just, I stopped journaling completely, and when I picked journaling back up, I picked up the Midori and the standard size, and you can see that slowly it's all really just about getting your words down. Maybe add a picture just for memory's sake. I've added pictures to my journals from the time that I could afford to do so. I was always printing on my mum's printer, much to my mum's dismay, because ink still wasn't cheap back then either. And I just loved journaling and getting my thoughts back down. This is back in 2013. So when John and I got together, I picked up my journals again, maybe just after I'd walked out on my husband, my ex-husband, and I started art journaling, and then I moved on to just journaling my life, and then I kind of just combined the two as I went along, because I did love journaling in this very simplified form, and just getting some color down on the paper. For some reason I used to do the washi tape on some of the pages, and that's what Sian does. And you don't need all the bells and whistles in order to have a journal that you love. You could just have pen, paper, and ink, and that is a-okay. These I hate blue ink, and I think I wrote like 3 sentences, and then I was like, no. So this is volume 1, and as you can see, it is super thin. And volume 2, as I get more confident, and as I want to do more things and experiment with more things, and that's totally okay as well. But I just don't want people that are very new to journaling to get overwhelmed by the fact that my journals are bursting at the seams with color, tip-ins, art, creativity. I don't want that to put you off, because we all have to start somewhere, and sometimes the best thing that we can possibly do is just get a pen and a paper. And that's why I decided that I think I would do some stripped back journaling, a journaling spread in my journal, to show you that it doesn't need to be all bells and whistles. Some of my favorite supplies with the distress stains, a cheap thing of watercolor, and I'm pretty sure these are the watercolors. That's distress stain. There's just washi tape, making little collages. These are rub-ons, and just using what we have. And that sort of brings me back into the use it or lose it challenge. Is, as you can tell, there's lots of like everything on this, and I don't normally do that now, but I think that strip back journaling helps you just grab a few bits and pieces from your stash and just create, like, it's very sparse compared to what you see in my journals now. There's still photographs, and there's still like little bits of creativity, but it's nothing like this. Is an original, yeah, whatever I did that's the original. And normally I would have collage sheets and things like that. I know we evolve as artists and as journal keepers, but I just want you to know that being super basic is just as beautiful as a journal that is bursting at the seams. And I just don't want you to think that you need to be doing all the things that I do in my journals to be like Instagram worthy, or like if you didn't want to show your journals because, oh, they don't look anything like Courtney's. That is not the point. That is not the point at all. I truly believe that you can do some beautiful things in your journal with just pen and paper and color. And I haven't looked through my standards in so long, and I know that I'll be jumping back into a standard size after my B6, so it's interesting to see. Oh, Oh, glue skills, boss glue skills as usual. But some of this is just color and a few little bits and pieces and a photograph. She's cute. Have you guys had her before? Maybe I'll scan her because I would like her again in my new journal. But this is where we're getting to the point where there's lots of, this is where I stopped. So volume 4 was where I stopped and jumped to an A5. And you can see there that I think I stopped in, do I have, this is October, but October when? I normally put it in the start. Did I put it in the start? Oh, my little bubbies. My little bubbies. I'm not quite sure. I feel like this is quite a couple of years ago. It was just when I started Patreon, so it would have been quite early. But you can see that as even in this journal, I was getting more and more experimental and coloring and stuff like that, and I was loving this journal, and I don't know why I jumped. Maybe it was because I got Tola. That's what, my A5 Tola, I got that, so I was so desperate to jump into, oh, this is when I first met Sian at the Frida meetup. Oh, I remember journaling these and making the little cards. Jeez, I haven't been out of a standard in a while. I remember doing this like it was yesterday. It's right before I had surgery. So my photos are, my portraits are a lot different than they are now. But I truly, let's see, 2016 this is, so 2 years ago. And you can tell that as I was getting more and more confident, like my journals got more and more expressive and more colorful and a lot more of my own art. But I don't want you to think that you have to start from this. I've been keeping a journal for as long as I possibly can remember, since I was a young girl. So my journaling has evolved constantly, and well before the internet was something, well before YouTube was something. Like, as you can tell, like my journals and stuff like have evolved. And you have to give yourself time to evolve as well. You don't have to build Rome in a day. You don't have to get overwhelmed by what you're seeing in front of you and what you're seeing on other Instagrams and stuff like that. If you are new to journaling, or if you're an art journaler or a bullet journaler, or you want to get into journaling but you see all these beautiful journals on the internet, I promise you, do not get discouraged. You do not need your journals to look anything like anyone else's except your own. I don't want you to feel like you have to have the most beautiful journal in the world. Your journal is going to be beautiful regardless of what it looks like, because it's yours and it's uniquely yours. You do not have to have all the bells and whistles that you see me work on in my journal videos. I have to give you inspiration. That is my job, is to inspire you to try new things in your journal. It does not mean that you may try it, go, that's not for me, I'm a failure because my journals don't look like Courtney's, they don't look like so-and-so's. No, my job is to show you different ways in which you can document your life, and you can try them, experiment, like them, not like them, or not even try them because you know that's not for me. A written journal with pages and pages and pages of words is just as beautiful and as important as this kind of journal. No journal is higher on the importance scale than any other journal. We are all equal in this journal game, and I don't want you to feel overwhelmed, and I don't want you to give up. I don't want you to ruin your journal thinking that it's not good enough. Social media has given it's given people standards that are just unobtainable. They give you snapshots of perfection and you think, oh, my journal looks terrible compared to so-and-so's, and I'm never going to have a journal as pretty and as beautiful and as perfect and as coordinated as so-and-so's. Believe me, I go through that as well. I look at some of the beautiful drawings and watercolors and all the art that is in some of the Hobonichis, and I get discouraged, even though that's not my style. Like, that's not what I do, that's not how I am. But I can definitely see myself comparing myself, and comparison is a thief of joy. Do not let your joy be stolen by looking at other people's journals. By all means, get inspired, enjoy looking at the eye candy, but don't feel like your journal isn't good enough because it doesn't have the latest supplies, the latest colors, the latest tip-ins, the latest and greatest. Do not get discouraged by what you see on the internet, because they are portraying a snapshot of perfection, me included. When you see me work in my journals, I have an idea about what I'm doing and I do it. I don't show you a lot of the time me sitting behind the camera with the camera off, working out how I'm going to show things in the best possible way so that the video doesn't take a million years. Oh my goodness, there is so much pre-planning to some of my pages. Even though it doesn't feel like it, a lot of my pages are pre-planned and I have an idea. I will turn the camera off, I will play, I will fiddle. When I feel like it's right, I'll then turn the camera on and I will show you what I'm doing, so that I don't bore you with me tinkering, because I tinker as much as Tinkerbell, man, because I'm always moving and trying and placing. And sometimes I'll show you some, like a snapshot of me auditioning pieces and getting pieces put together, but it will take me 4 times as long. But I've been doing this for years and years and years, and it is my job to inspire you. That I wholeheartedly believe. My job is to inspire you to try different things, but I never ever want you to feel like your journal is not on the same level as everyone else's out there. Your skill levels are different, your passions are different, the way that you do things is uniquely yours, and it is perfection the way that it is. So don't feel like you have to be like everybody else. Being like everybody else is just, it's boring. It's absolutely boring, and you don't want to be chasing an ideal that is not your own. So I am going to do a quick, and it will be quick because the stripped back journaling is taking away all the fuss and the frou-frou and all the bits. It is literally just documenting and getting it down on paper and writing about it and maybe adding a photo and a little bit of color. It's not how many tip-ins can I get onto this page. I mean, I take a lot of photos, and when I have a lot of photos that I love, I will find a way to get all those photos on there. And I just want you to understand that that's just how I enjoy journaling, and you may as well, and that is a-okay as well. But you may love a book full of words and a little bit of watercolor on the page, and that is just as stunning in my eyes. And I never want anyone to feel less than and feel like they're not good enough in this community, in our community, or the journal community, the planner community, because you don't have the latest and greatest. I do never ever ever want to hear you say, oh, my journal's nowhere near as good as yours. I never want to hear those words leave your lips. I never want to read them in type form. I believe your journal is exactly what it needs to be for you, because you are creating it, you are writing your own story, you are doing it the way that you want with your supplies. And I don't want you to feel like you need XYZ in order to have a journal that looks like mine. I don't want your journal to look like mine. I want your journal to look like yours, because I want you to be happy with it. And I don't want you to compare yourself, because I don't want your joy to be stolen by comparison. And so I thought that I just wanted to get this little pep talk in there first. I know I've just spent 20 minutes talking about it, but I know that you'll be working on your journals as I talk to you about this, and I know that you love a chatty video. And I just sometimes need to tell you this so that you get it and it sinks into your brains and it sinks into your hand and it sinks into your journals, because everyone's journal is beautiful. No matter your skill, no matter what supplies you have, no matter what your journal is. I don't care if you're writing in a composition notebook. I don't care if you're writing in a digital journal. It's all the same to me. I enjoy what I enjoy. I love what I love, but it does not mean that you have to love the same things as me. and I want you to know that strip back journaling, it could become a whole new movement. It could be. But I wanted to get us back to basics so that you didn't feel overwhelmed. I am going to be using the supplies out of my use it or lose it tub so that you don't feel like you need 100 million supplies. And my distress stains are actually something that I used back in the day and loved and adored. And if I had my cheapo palette from Micador, I'd be using that too, to show you it doesn't matter what watercolors you have. But my daughter has absolutely ravaged those. She has used them and hit pan on almost everything, so I won't be using my beautiful $10 multicolor palette, but I did use them for years and loved them. So I have just upgraded in the supplies that I use, but that's because art has become my job and I just love art supplies. But don't feel that you need the latest and greatest and the most expensive in order to have a beautiful journal, because I believe that writing on a page is just as beautiful as all the stuff that you see within here. So it's just a little pep talk. Sometimes I feel like I need to get on my little soapbox stool and just give you guys a little journal pep talk in case you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed by the journal community. At least you're new to my Patreon and you've just watched a billion and trillion journal with me videos, and you're sitting there absolutely paralyzed because you're like, I don't know anything. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. Like, I know that feeling. I've done the loop. I've been there. I've made the steps. I still go through this sort of stuff as well. I'm only human. We're all only human, and we all get overwhelmed when we are trying to level up our skills. And I definitely understand, and that's why sometimes I think I need to make these videos as a gentle little inky reminder that comparing your chapter 10 to the beginning of my chapter 10 to the beginning of your story or the beginning of your journal is not going to help. It is just going to make you feel sad and overwhelmed and inferior, and you will probably not even start. You'll just back away from the whole ordeal. And I promise you, keeping a journal has been the single most amazing thing I have done with my life. One of the single thing, my kids obviously, but like something that I did for me. My journals have always been for me, and I cannot ever see myself not having a journal. I am going to be journaling when I am a grandmother and my kids have got kids, and I will be teaching my grandchildren to journal the way that I'm teaching my kids how important it is to journal. I will be journaling until I cannot physically do it anymore. And I cannot wait to see how my journals are going to look when I'm a grandmother. I don't know if they'll be like this or whether I'll revert completely back to basics and just have some writing and some photos. I don't know, but I promise you I will be journaling for a very, very long time. But I totally want to just strip back a journal spread. It is going to be super quick. That's why my prep talk was a little bit longer than you're probably used to, because when you are doing the basics, there's not that much to do. It's all about the story, or it's all about your feelings and your writing, and then like a little cluster. It's like, I can't even say this is how you do it because there are no rules. There's no rules. It's just what I call strip back journaling, which is journaling basics. And it's just, I will have to withhold myself from adding all the bells and whistles, but sometimes simple is always better. And especially if you are time crunched and you don't have a heap of time, this type of style is great for that, because you can have it done and dusted and you feel better because you've actually done some journaling. So I am going to get off my little soapbox. I'm gonna go make myself a cup of tea because that was 25 minutes of me talking and my throat is killing me already. I've got my distress stains in my box. I've got my Inktense pencils, but I have a little bit of washi tape. Washi tape was something that I used back then. I'll happily use it again because I have so much washi tape I could sink a battleship. And I need to print a few little photos and then get going. Hopefully I've got some photos that I haven't used. I know I would like to do a couple of shots with hubby, and I've probably not taken one with hubby in a while, but I always seem to love doing family stuff when I want to do this. And I'll have to go through my photos to see what I've actually printed and what I haven't printed so that I'm not doubling up on photographs. But whenever I do strip back journaling, it is always something to do with my family, because it just is, or a self-portrait or something like that. So let's get started. Get your journal out, my loves. Get a drink, a cold one, a hot one. I am going to grab a nice big cup of tea, and let's do some basic journaling that doesn't require a lot of brain power, doesn't require a lot of time, and doesn't require an entire art supply arsenal. Basic, something to get color down, something to adhere your pictures down, your pen, and your watercolors. If you even want to do that, you don't even have to do that. Oh my goodness, it is just what you want. But no more comparison. Let's just enjoy our journals for what they are. Documentation keepers.
Looking for my mother's eyes as I'm staying close to the mirror. A lock of gold, a secret smile, little things I remember. Place a hand upon my heart as her, she was a believer. Sometimes I can feel her arms holding me as forever. Time changes everything, and everything will change in time. Love changes every heart, and any heart can change you. I see in you my mother's eyes, and I lay your head to my shoulder. A lock of gold, a secret smile, I will tell you when you get older. I place a hand upon your heart, every beat is taking me over.
So I've just laid down my distress stains in picked raspberry and mustard seed and scattered straw, broken china, and peacock feathers, I think. Peacock feathers, yep. And the yellow, the pink, and the blue were colors that I used way back when, and then I realized that my photo of my mum, my sister, and I look really nice there. And then I went through my little ballpoint dish. This is when I was doing like going through my pens and stuff to see which ones were still working and which ones weren't. So this is all the ballpoint pens that I had in that stash, and the Artline Smooth is actually the pen that I use day in, day out in my journal, back in volume 1, pretty sure. And then I've also got my two stencils, which I also used way back when. I got these from one of those cheap dollar stores, and I love it. I think one of them's cracked. I can't remember which one is cracked, but one of them's got a crack in it. And I haven't been able to find a replacement, so I'm still holding on to them. They're still going strong. So I've got those to play with. I've got some washi tape. I'm also going to delve into my box because I'm trying to still do use it or lose it. And I know I've got these planner stickers with the dates and things on there. Where are they? Like these ones, and I'm going to use those, and maybe some of the alphabet stickers that are haunting me. So I'm just going to have a good old play with some of these, because I did use stickers back in my old journals because I wasn't doing a lot of my own stuff. So I've got a lot of washi tape and stuff like that. Used my Dymo, but my Dymo, I'm out of label tape. So I've just used the font that I downloaded, but pretend it's Dymo tape. If any of you are original OG Inkies, what is this and where was it? That is a question. Leave your answer down below. So just have a look at this and let me know. That'll tell me how long you've been following me. That'll be super interesting to know. I did date things, so I've got like dates up here. So I probably will date I will date this entry because that's something that I did and still do occasionally. So yeah, gonna have a play, really. But I thought I'd just let you know, since this is gonna be super simple and super fast, that I, you know, have a little chat every now and again. But I'm going to, I don't think I'll add all of these elements to the pages. I think I'll do some. I've got all these pictures of me and Hubs. This one I've got in one of my other journals. I think maybe my December journal. I think maybe, but I wanted to sort of pop. I don't think it's in here at all, but I have a version of it hanging up in my studio on my memory wall, but I don't think I have this picture up. And then I'm, what, 20 bucks that I've got it like right at the start, because it would have been the start of the year. So I've got this one and this one. I've got this version, but I don't have the other one, because these were all taken at Christmas time with my family. So I've got some of them. This version is actually the one that's on my studio wall. So yeah, me and Jane, Hubs. So okay, maybe I don't have this version in my journal, which is always good. So yeah, I'm going to be really quick, get my date stamp out. I'm not going to handwrite it, I'm just going to date it because I'm lazy. And I may even use my stencil wherever I just put it to do the date. Use my old school Artline Smooth. Still love these, still have quite a lot of them in my stash because I bought them in bulk because I went through them all the time. They are fabulous, they're waterproof, they write really, really nicely, so I've used it for ages. And then probably right up until I started using fountain pens, I was still using a ballpoint pen, and my planner pen, the Uni Style Fit, this black one, reminds me so much of this, and I use this all the time in all my planners with this little body. I'm actually almost due for a new black ink because I've almost run out. But yeah, that's just a little tip. I love ballpoint pen, man. It's awesome.
This is as good a day as any to start the rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many when the old one's gone under the knife. And I can feel the sun on my skin, this morning has a clearer light as any to see the horizon in the far. Excuses were 2 for a penny, but they've all gone out the window of this car. And when I feel the wind on my face, all that ever was is a rage. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to buy. tomorrow. There's no time to borrow today. Well, something's gotta give today. It's a good day today and not tomorrow. There's no time to borrow today. Well, something's gotta give today. It's a good day today. It's a good day today. It's a good day to live.
I've never been known for my cautious side. You should know that I'm well aware. I don't want anything left untried. Will you come with me, mon cher? So let us just do my love and not stop thinking of this over. So let us just do my love and see where this road will take us now. It's not that you're timid, no one could say. Choosing to walk with the gale. What shall we call us? Hobos per se. We'll find that out on the way. So let us just do my love and not stop thinking of this over. Let us just do my love and see where this road will take us now. I've never been known for my cautious side. I know the wind that I stir is a gale. So let us just do my love and not stop thinking of this over. Let's just do my love and see where it goes. So let us just do my love and not stop thinking of this over. Let's just do my love and see where this road will take us now.
I try to figure out who I am. Not sure what I'm doing here, and the days don't work out the way I thought they would. And before you there was no one who understood. Never found somewhere I fit in. Until I met you I was feeling lost, but you're the one who can make it go away.
Living the hump life. Living the hump life. Do you know how hard it is to try and get down here with your pen when you're on the hump? Really, really hard. Oh my goodness. Right, I am pretty much done. Like I said, it wasn't going to be amazing, super great, 20,000 tip-ins, 60 million photos. Strip back journaling is just that, getting it done. This literally took me about 10 minutes max, and I went and made a cup of tea. I went and did some washing, because it's really simple. It's just about getting those details down, using a few of your bits and pieces, and then writing, and that is all it is. I'm not going to sit here and write for you because you don't need that, but this is my little pep talk to you guys to just get your stuff down. It doesn't have to have all the bells and whistles. It's more about getting that documentation down and getting those memories locked away on the pages so that one day your children or family members or whoever will be able to relive some of their lives or your life through your journals. And I totally believe that. So I hope this wasn't too underwhelming for you, but at the same time I really hope it's sort of touched you in a way. These sorts of videos are always really important for me to make every now and again, because it's not all about all the bells and whistles you can stick on a page. It really isn't. At the heart of all of the stuff that I do, it's really about documenting life as it happens. Dan Rowena and her beautiful tagline, it is definitely one of those things. It's about getting your life down on the pages of your journal, whether it be in writing form, picture form, art form. Any form is good, great, beautiful, perfect, and you. As long as you are happy with your journal, that's all that matters. And I don't want you to get overwhelmed when it comes to your journal. It's not a place to get overwhelmed. It's just a place to enjoy, to reflect, to write, to put your photographs down, to capture those memories. And I am looking at these pages and I'm already smiling because it's got my mom and my sister, it's got my hubby. Normally I would put my kids there, and I do have pictures of my kids, but I'll probably just do another spread with my kids. I didn't want to overload it. I didn't want to add a tip in. I did consider a tip in because I have done tip ins in the past, but the whole point is that it's stripped back journaling, and there's no reason why I can't just turn the page, add some more color, and then tip in the pictures of my kids. There's another picture of hubby. This is back from 2016. And the two pictures of my little ones and some of me, my lunch. It's a random day, but it was me. I had kicked butt that day, so I snapped a picture. And that, there's no underlying messages to any of those. It's just documenting those moments that are the unordinary to make them extraordinary, especially in the pages of our journal. So please do not take my journal as gospel, and don't take the craziness that happens within these pages as the only way to do your journal. And if you are just new to journaling and you're just stepping in and you've just joined the Inky tribe, just breathe, my love. It will be okay. Everything starts. And I think I'll definitely have a quote about that sort of thing in Monday's mantra. I think about everyone who was a beginner, even the experts had to start somewhere, something like that. I know I've got it saved to my phone. I was thinking about it the other day. That will be the next Monday mantra, so that you understand that it's all a process. It's all a process. It's all about experimenting, playing, but it is just about getting your story down on your pages. It doesn't matter about all the extras. It's about getting those stories down. And because you never know, you may lose your memory, you may just forget quickly. I know with my dad having Alzheimer's, and I am constantly telling him things over and over and over again. I always think that if that ever happened, in my life to any of my loved ones, I would like to be able to hand my journal over to them and say, you know, here's a trip down memory lane. So yeah, that's kind of my thought processes on it. But yeah, have a wonderful day, Inkies. Pop down below any of your thoughts, your questions, if this hit a chord with you and what you're feeling. I like to open up dialogues, especially with these types of videos, so that I know if what I'm saying is hitting a chord or whether you'd like me to just shut up and make art, basically. So have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you again soon.